Welcome to Film Therapy. Not a couch this week.
Yeah, two chairs.
Two chairs. Should we explain what happened to Kyle and Nate? Or?
Yeah, Kyle and Nate, they got lost in a suicide forest.
Yeah. We have reason to believe that they left last week. Right after the last week's episode.
Yeah.
They were just wandering out there. They're trying to get a feel for this week's movie, Sea of Trees.
Yeah. They never watched it.
No, they didn't.
But they heard the synopsis, and they flew to Japan.
Yeah.
They were dedicated to killing themselves, really into it. So it's just us two this week.
Right.
Sorry, or you're welcome.
Yeah.
Whichever side of the fence you're on, Fernando Romero.
Bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
Now it's just a couple of assholes.
Just two assholes now. Not a bunch.
Not a bunch this week, Fernando.
But shout out to you. We're going to try to make it better for you.
That's right. We put a lot of time and effort into Mr. Romero's constructive criticism.
Yeah. It was very constructive.
So we're going to do our best.
We're going to try. That's all we can do.
That's all you can do. That's all Jesus did. He just tried.
He just tried.
And look what happened to him. You better not crucify us for
Yeah. So, we don't really have any games this week worked out, do we?
Not a lot of fun this week. No.
Not a lot of fun?
Because it's not a fun subject.
Yeah, it's not a fun... What are we going to laugh about? Like,
suicide?
The suicide rates? Like, I guess we could Google that. That'd be a fun segment. What's the suicide rate?
Right. No fun here.
How many people actually die in that Japanese suicide forest?
I feel like it's not that much. I don't know. But
we're not looking it up.
Right.
All right, I'm going to look it up.
You're going to look it up.
Aokigahara.
What is that?
That's a suicide forest. Or Sea of Trees.
Or Sea of Trees, yeah.
It's a 35 square kilometer forest located at the northwest base of Mount Fuji in Japan.
Does it say how it became a suicide forest, or when that's
Let's look at this Wikipedia page, bro. Just like Matthew McConaughey did in the film.
Actually fucking
Sea
happened.
of Trees.
He
Googled perfect place to die. Statistics vary, but there were around 30 suicides documented every year during the period leading up to 1988.
But then after that, things been cool there?
It's among the top 3 most popular sites for suicide in the world.
Okay.
Clarifications needed, though, Wikipedia, so get on that. In 2003, 105 bodies were found in the forest, exceeding the previous record of 78 in 2002. Suicides are said to increase during March, the end of the fiscal year in Japan. Wow. This is an interesting forest. Too bad they didn't cover any of this in the film.
Yeah, he just Googled it, and he thought it was a good place.
Went there to kill himself.
Right. Had no personal connection to this place. Like, I could see, if you're in the mindset of, I have a serious illness, and I'm choosing the way to go, and I want to die in a beautiful place. But that's not the case here. He's a healthy guy. He's Matthew McConaughey. And he Googled it.
Yeah. Nothing too interesting in there, really, about it, which is kind of sad. What were you saying?
Synopsis. We'll give you the synopsis here.
Yeah, synopsis. Do we want to do it could be kind of weird if it's back and forth. Right. Maybe just one of us should handle the duties.
Right.
You want to do it, or you want me to do it?
I want you to do this one.
All right, so synopsis time, everyone. Titles.
No, just a synopsis.
Titles.
I'll just have you say titles.
Titles. So the synopsis of this film, basically, a man and a woman are married. They're in love.
As it should be.
Yeah. Well, Trump over here. But no, so a man and a woman are married. The man is a professor. The woman is in some sort of business of some type. She's more successful than him, and he doesn't pay attention to her. Right. They don't really get along anymore. She's apparently an alcoholic, according to Matthew McConaughey's character, is all we know. Their relationship's breaking down slowly, right? And then she gets some sort of disease that's fatal. So she's dying in a hospital. She tells him, I hope you find the perfect place to die, because it's horrible to die in this hospital.
Yeah.
and he Googles perfect places to
Yeah.
die because he's broken up after her death. And mostly he's broken up, I guess, about him not knowing her very well, even though they lived together for so long. And he goes to the Japanese suicide forest, the Sea of Trees.
Yes.
And there he meets a man played by Ken Watanabe.
Mm-hmm. I think it's Takumi.
Takumi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he winds up trying to help him find his way out of the forest, and they connect.
Mm-hmm.
They start talking about why they're both in the forest. And then, should I say more? About it? I mean,
we'll leave it there.
Yeah, they come to terms with each other's suicide attempts throughout the course of the movie. It's told mostly in like flashbacks while they're in the forest, so it's not like in sequence what I'm saying happens.
Honestly, that probably would have been a better movie if it followed that sequence, because you would have some sort of understanding of the characters. And I get the mentality of like, oh, it's like he's here at this forest, why is he here? I get that. That's a cool, like, not cool, but it's mysterious.
Right.
But at the same time, we also have like no personal connection to him, so we also don't really care.
Yeah.
And he's wearing the same outfit the entire movie. He's
Oh shit! Yeah, he is.
right. Yeah, and every scene,
even in the flashbacks,
he's wearing the same fucking thing. And
oh my god! I just now noticed.
right, they kind of explain it because she bought him that coat, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a nice coat. That's my McConaughey." You'll see it throughout the episode.
That's a nice coat.
Yeah, I like this coat. But I mean, even he looks the same. He looks like, it's almost like cartoon character-esque.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
In fact, this whole movie is very cartoon character-esque because they don't understand humanity or what makes people have good relationships.
Yeah. Or bad ones, even, it feels like. Like, they're just like... Yeah. And, like, I feel like they never show her alcoholism as a problem, an issue, which, like, for Matthew McConaughey, it's, like, the central reason why he's not getting along with her. Like, he's like, you're an alcoholic, I don't want to listen to you. Why should I be listening to you tell me how to live my life when you can't even get over alcoholism?
Right. And while she seems
fine. She didn't seem drunk ever. She just seemed angry at him for being a shit.
Yeah.
Well, she kind of was a shit.
Yeah.
Like throughout most of it.
Like, almost if they made him more of like a not dweeb, but like a very submissive character. Like, you know, if she seemed like the dominant, powerful one, but during the scenes, they both are assholes. He's sometimes a bigger asshole. Yeah. Most of the time, he's the bigger asshole.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he just, like, ignores her in a lot of scenes, it seems like. Like, they're having a conversation. She's like, did you hear any of that? And he's just like, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, there was a car scene, and she, like, asked him to get something, and he throws a fit about it. He gets, like, super pissy about it. He's just like, not in there. And then she finds it, and he's just like, I couldn't find it. Yeah. What do you want me to say?
Yeah. Sometimes you just don't see things. Like, she's like, it seems like you don't see things often.
True. Like, she connected that to, like, you don't even pay attention to May. Like, that, and then that's the central, they're a big reason why they don't work, I guess.
Yeah. Neither of them kind of learn anything about each other despite being married. Like, it's kind of weird.
Until he goes to the forest to find out
all
about his wife.
So yeah, of course, spoilers for all of our episodes. If you really are interested in watching this movie, which I don't know if I'd recommend it.
What intrigued me was honestly the negative backlash, because the trailer looked promising. It looked like an emotional, very captivating film, and I get the boos. I do, like, because I think we were like trying to like figure out why it was getting booed before we watched it.
We went in like wanting to understand why a movie would get booed, and we kind of booed at the end.
Yeah, like more like groans, like like that's it. Like it was, like I feel like M. Night Shyamalan wouldn't even go there for that twist.
Yeah,
I feel like M. Night Shyamalan would be like that's stupid. That's
that twist is rough. So yeah. Anyway, letting you guys know that the spoilers are there. Just gonna get right in. Ken Watanabe turns out to be pretty much an apparition, a ghost or something that McConaughey imagines, however you want to interpret it. but it's kind of just the spirit of his wife embodied and trying to get him to remember her.
Right.
Or to remember things about her, to understand her better.
Yeah. And some of the ways he does this, or she does this, is with, well, we get very little backstory from Takumi's character, or Takumi. One is his daughter's name, which is a Japanese name that I can't pronounce. I'm not going to try to.
I have no idea.
Which we later discover means winter yellow. Mm-hmm. And that's his wife's favorite season and her favorite color. And like that, and there's something else that he discovers about his wife.
Yeah, I can't remember what that is.
Neither can Matthew McConaughey probably.
Yeah.
It's just weird, like, if like, because it's apparent that they didn't have a good relationship. And he even says, if it's not, like, you know, subtle enough, they make it a very overt conversation he has at her funeral with the caretaker of the funeral home. I didn't know my wife. I didn't even know, probably said, I don't even know what season she enjoys, like, just something, like, super overt.
Yeah.
And so he gets that at the end of the movie, but he doesn't, I feel like he doesn't know his wife.
Right.
He just knows what she enjoyed.
Yeah.
Which isn't.
Because he's like, I don't know her. I don't even know these basic things about her.
Yeah.
And then the revelation at the end is that now he knows those basic things,
yes.
But that doesn't mean that you know that person.
Most of the time you can get the information from just looking at someone's Facebook.
Right, yeah.
He went to the suicide forest and a ghost told him these things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because, like, that's the lasting impression, is that he feels good. He's got, like, this weight lifted where he wants to continue living, and feels like he has a good relationship with his now deceased wife, but feeling wasn't mutual on our end.
No, I don't buy that because I mean, you still can't know a person from those basic facts. Like that's just an example of you not knowing important things about them. But,
and you brought up a good point. Was I think it would have helped. I mean, there's no helping that ending, but it would have helped at least character building for us along the journey if we saw them truly at a good point in their, like, marriage, and to see, like, what went wrong. But we never see that. We only see, like, these grumpy, individuals that are just so unhappy with each other. And I never felt like they truly cared about each other, like, at all. And
nope.
They didn't have a reason to. Like, besides that, they were just two good-looking people.
They just had, like, some terrible arguments at, like, parties with friends around where they're just, like, getting so shitty to each other. And, like, you never see them. I feel like the problem is you never see them in love, you know? Like, you just never see that. So, like, how am I going to buy them losing the love? And then how am I going to buy him getting over the loss of her as a person?
Right.
It just feels like now he's free, finally, from a shitty relationship and shouldn't be suicidal. Like,
right. You know what would have been ballsy for that ending? It's throughout the movie, he just starts having this weird connection with Takumi.
Oh.
And he's just like, you remind me of someone I used to know. You got beautiful eyes. And then he just has, like, this weird, like, hinting at sexual relationship.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and at the end of the movie, he's like, I love you, Takumi, don't you fucking die on me. Mm-hmm. And they share a kiss. And he opens his eyes, and it's just his wife's ghost there. And she's just like, we're good now. Like, you know, you can see other people and stuff. And she just floats away.
I feel like they should find some of those caverns that they mentioned in the Wikipedia and just...
oh my god, yes.
And then he turns into a fucking flower in a trench coat. Dude.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Because part of it is like there's these flowers that mark like the touch of a spirit or some bullshit. Like, I don't know, it has something to do with the Yuri, which is like a ghost that lives in the forest. But like, I never got the connection really. Like, they just bring up this flower offhandedly while they're looking around,
right? And
then at the end, when he goes to find Takumi, he instead just finds this trench coat that he gave him earlier, lying on top of the flower. Yeah, that represents the spirit touch or whatever.
And that was like his moment of like an epiphany. He's like, "Oh my god, it was my wife the whole time."
Yeah, dude, totally. Yeah, it was just it's insane. Like,
do you think someone like an alien wrote this screenplay? Like someone who's never like He's like only seen humans like from like a distance, like or maybe like.
I think that's what they like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I understand. Favorite colors are very important among humans. Like,
yeah. Alcoholism is bad. Remember that for later.
I'm not sure what it means, but
What are the symptoms? What does it look like? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
it doesn't concern me.
There's just this huge disconnect with almost everything in this film, and it just nothing works really. I would say like the only that kept me watching was honestly the anticipation for this booing moment, because like I was like this can't, unless it's just like a thoroughly uninteresting film. I get that, but I want to see like this big moment where people are just like fuck this, boo, and I was on that end. I was served. Yeah, like. If it was marketed that way, like the movie will be booing on Monday.
Yeah, like the Don't Breathe twist. Yeah, I can see that working maybe.
Yeah, like almost like reverse marketing. Like in a way, it worked. Like I probably wouldn't have been interested in this film as much if I didn't know like how harshly it was received.
Yeah, for me, like too, it's like you hear about a bad movie and you're like, well, maybe it's not that bad, right? You want to give it the shot, the benefit of the doubt. But then, like, it's not even a movie like The Room where you can, like, enjoy how bad it is.
Right.
It's just so dry and dull and boring and, like, plodding through the forest, and it's not super interesting to even look at. So there's just no value here to be really gotten from it other than, like, if you really want to see how to not tell a story about a failed love. Like, I don't know. It's like if you want a failed love story that you want to see a good example of, it's like go to a movie like Blue Valentine or something, like where there's some like build up of like their relationship and then some failure of that relationship there that's on display, rather than just like, oh, I think I want Matthew McConaughey to go to the suicide forest, so I'm gonna write a script about a suicide forest and get him on board.
And that's exactly what it's totally a like forced setting. None of it has any relevance to the characters whatsoever. Like the only connection, like we keep talking about, is a Google search, and that blows my fucking mind. Because if anything, like if you're gonna kill yourself and you want like some sort of connection to your deceased loved one, like wouldn't you like do it? Like, not saying you should at all.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning that, but if this character's in that mindset, wouldn't you do it that's somewhere like relevant to your relationship?
Right. Like, because I think even like I don't know, his house or where they lived is so picturesque in a way that it's like, why not do it there where all the memories are? Yeah. Where, you know.
And you could still have those plot beats. I mean, obviously, Ken Watanabe wouldn't be walking around the house be like, help me, but there'd still be, you could still have that interruption that would lead him onto this journey to discover who his wife really was. And that plot is like really interesting. It's almost like, you know, extremely loud and incredibly close. That kind of, have you seen that?
I haven't.
Not a good movie, but it could have been where
Is this a mini episode of the Film Therapy where we review a film within a film review?
Oh God, Chris Nolan inspired.
Yeah. This is the extremely loud and incredibly close review by Brent High. Go.
All right. So from what I remember, it's like a little kid, and he is trying to. His father was killed in the 9/11 attacks, and he's trying to discover like
set up by President Bush, of course.
Right, the Lizard King. Yeah. And so he was trying to discover like who his dad was, or he finds like this box, and it leads him onto this mystery, and he talks to all these different people, and he tries to like rediscover like his dad, from what I remember. And like that would be like a really interesting thing. Like what if McConaughey's trying to kill himself, and he discovers something that would lead him on to find out something he's always wondered about his wife, maybe something that he didn't know about her. I think that would be more interesting than using this setting, which is so forced, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
The only reason it was used is so it could set up this bullshit mystical supernatural ending, which does not fucking work. It's horrible. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Good. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're onto something. Like maybe this would be a film maybe to like be like, all right, well, you can fix it this way, because like, I mean, honestly, it would be almost more interesting if she died, and then McConaughey's feeling suicidal, and then like maybe before he wants to die, he's like, I've got to find out these things about my wife, and he goes on an active journey to find out these things, rather than just finding out the base information
Right.
through a Japanese spirit in a forest for no reason. Like,
Right.
maybe he does go and it's like, to her friends or to anyone, you know, like maybe he paid attention at some point in his life to who she cares about.
Which is like, let's make it's a realistic character. Like, he's like, it's not like you just like are blindfolded into a marriage. Like, you know her like friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this guy didn't. This guy doesn't. She just appeared in his apartment one day and was like, let's get married and move out into a house.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. There's just this movie specifically. It doesn't have a lot of depth to it. It's pretty shallow.
No.
So
I do not recommend this movie for you, Fernando.
yeah,
skip it.
Skip it, dude.
I don't know. Should we grade it? I will give this movie an F because nothing worked about it. We already talked a lot about like what didn't work and what could have helped the film because it did have an intriguing premise. The trailer promised something that could have been captivating, but nothing was there. The performances didn't work, and I don't blame the actors. I think it's more of the direction they were given, especially for McConaughey when he's wandering around the forest. And he's just got like a fucking stone faced look, like you're there, like you should be like trembling because like even if you're in that mindset, like the act of doing it should still like make you like fucking horrified because you don't know what's gonna happen after that. That's not there. And again, not his fault. I think it's because he's a fucking capable actor. We've seen him like Dallas Buyers Club. We've seen him at like, you know, characters that are at their wits' end. They're, you know, holding on to life. We didn't get that here. What say you?
Oh, me? I gave it an F plus.
You did.
I did give it an F plus. I don't know if that's a real grade. I feel like if you just hit F, it's an F. But I'll do F plus just because, like, for a lot of it, like, the shots did look pretty good, you know, like of the forest, and there's some, you know, interesting moments. There were parts of the movie where I thought it could have been better. You know, like there were moments where I was like, you know, like this might improve from here on, but then it just kind of kept sliding down. So you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. It's definitely a movie that like I would never recommend to anyone ever,
unless you hated them.
Yeah, unless I was like, oh hey, I think you're boring and a piece of shit, so you're gonna really just love this movie and the character, the main one. But yeah, I don't know, like there have been movies in the past that I've given like D's, like Neon Demon and etc. But like specifically with that one, there's more to delve into. There's at least some interesting parts that make me maybe want to revisit the movie in the future. But this movie, there's just no redeemable quality whatsoever and no reason for me to ever watch it again. So that's why F plus.
Yes.
But it was still kind of interesting. So I don't know, like there's, you know, like as far as like the initial like trailer where we were like, oh man, what the fuck is this gonna be?
And even the opening of the film is pretty strong, I feel like.
Yeah, so I just gotta give it that extra plus. So I think we're good on this week. So we finally did it. We've therapied ourselves enough. I think this is the last episode. Forever.
We're gonna go to the forest.
Yeah. Goodbye.